Office is in the midst of a radio upgrade. Sheriff Mike Walker explains the current radio system they have has started to become too outdated to be effective, so they're going to an improved system, similar to something they had nearly 30 years ago.
We're upgrading our radio system at the Sheriff's Office. We have two primary radio channels for the Sheriff's Office, and CENTCOM 1 and CENTCOM 2, and then we also have DeWitt Fire, which the ambulance and fire department runs off of. Back in, I think it's like 2011, they had a narrow band compliance issue went into effect, so we had to upgrade all of our radios, and when we did that, we went to a system that had a repeater in Clinton and a repeater in Farmer City, and then repeaters, in-car repeaters, which is supposed to help boost the signal out to those. So last several years, that's been kind of failing for either age of equipment or just not working properly. So we started looking into it and got some input from a radio vendor, put together a plan, and we are now going to go back to a similar system we had, similar to what we had about 30 years ago when I first started. And we're going to have 5 different sites in the county. There will be one in Kinney, one in Waynesville, one in Clinton, Farmer City, and Weldon. So that will give us greater countywide coverage. So it's about, my understanding, talking to the vendor, it's about probably 4 to 5 weeks away from being online, and CENTCOM 1 and CENTCOM 2 will be on that system, and eventually we hope to, when the city of Clinton gets some upgrades on their radio system, we're hoping to go digital, encrypted to digital on the CENTCOM 1 side.
According to Sheriff Walker, the new radio system will be funded with ARPA money. He notes this will not only benefit the Sheriff's Office, but most of the first responding agencies in DeWitt County.
Before, it was called a voter system, and this is similar to that. That system was going, back in 2011, that system was going to have to go by the wayside regardless because it was not narrowband compliant. We got some grants and things back there to help through EMA and purchased all new mobile radios and portable radios, which we're still using. They're still functioning properly. It's just the makeup of the system that's not performing as well. We've had some serious issues and it's just not necessarily one side of the county to the other, it's just certain areas. And there's no rhyme or reason. We've been fighting that for probably the last 4 or 5 years. The radio vendor that we currently use would come in and do some tuning of our radios and tuning of the system, and it'd help in some areas and not in others, and it wouldn't last, so we were able to, we needed to do something, and the county was able to, through the ARPA money, the county paid for the upgrade to CENTCOM 1, and the ETSB board paid for the upgrade of CENTCOM 2, which will make those both countywide. Right now, CENTCOM 1 is very limited, or CENTCOM 2 is very limited coverage because it's the old Clinton PD channel. The other night, Thursday night at our ETSB board meeting, we had some discussion about possibly in the future upgrading the DeWitt Fire channel, which all the fire departments and EMS works off of.
Many have questioned why the Sheriff's Department wants to go to digital radios. Sheriff Walker says it's becoming an issue of officer safety. It's a trend that many law enforcement agencies are going to nationwide.
We've talked about this before. I know some people in the community have questioned why we want to go to digital and have a secure channel. It's getting to be a public or an officer safety issue and a public safety issue. We've had several incidents where our deputies or the city police or even Farmer City Police arrived at a residence or something, and either the resident that we're looking for or the neighbors will come out and say, oh yeah, we knew you were coming. Now you get a situation that has maybe a domestic or something like that, and they hear that their spouse or whatever is called 911, they're being dispatched on their scanner, that can cause some problems. If it's a serious situation, they can barricade themselves in there, and now, they know we're coming. They can be sitting there waiting for us, and bad things can happen. That's the plan anyway, and that's the reason why. And I know a lot of agencies throughout the state, throughout the nation, are going to that simply because of officer safety.
The digital communication system for the Sheriff's Office leads many to question about those who listen to police scanners. The Sheriff has more thoughts on that, and we'll hear more from the Sheriff on that next week on Regional Radio. Social Security has announced some changes to how they collect overpayments and options folks have if they get overpaid. If you are overpaid, you'll receive an overpayment notice, and we'll have a few options on the WHOW Morning Show Thursday. Jack Myers with Social Security told Regional Radio you can repay the overpayment. If you agree with it and are currently receiving benefits, you can make payments through monthly benefit withholdings or a repayment plan.
With the massive scale of beneficiaries that we have, occasionally, even though we try to get it right, we sometimes get it wrong, right? And sometimes we pay beneficiaries more than they're due, which creates an overpayment. When you look at it, the scale of people, it's not very common. We have a high degree of accuracy, but when it does happen, Congress requires that we make every effort to recover those overpaid benefits. And so that's something that Commissioner O'Malley was addressing, because he noted that recovering that overpayment without regard to the larger purpose of our Social Security program can result in injustices to individuals. And so that's where he's announced some updates in how we're going to address these improper payments going forward. Basically how we're going to collect that money is some of what's being changed. And so let's talk a little bit about what happens when a person does get overpaid. They have options, right? They can choose to repay the overpayment. Sometimes you get overpaid and you know it. Something happened, you were working, you made more than you should have made, that, you're overpaid, that's fine, and you really just want to focus on how to get that money paid back. So, repaying is one option.
If you do not respond to an overpayment notice, the default withholding will be 10% of your benefit instead of 100 as it's been in the past. Myers notes this will be similar to the way SSI overpayments are collected.
But one of the things I think that's real important to talk about, Seth, and this is one of the changes that Commissioner O'Malley recently announced. It used to be that if we send you a letter telling you that you're overpaid, then you would have some time to respond, right? You have some time to say, hey, I want to pay it back, but maybe I can't pay it back all at once, so I'd like to set up a payment plan. If you didn't respond, the default option used to be that eventually we would just start recovering that overpayment by withholding 100% of your Social Security payment. Mm-hmm. Well, this is the huge news. Now what we're going to be doing is if you don't respond, we're going to be withholding 10% of your monthly benefit to apply to that overpayment instead of the 100. So that's kind of similar to what we do with the SSI, Supplemental Security Income Program.
If you disagree with the facts of the overpayment or believe the amount is incorrect, you can request a review of the decision, and if you believe you did not cause the overpayment or it is unfair, you can't afford to repay the overpayment. Request to relieve some or all of the amount due. Get news anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Have you started spring cleaning? At Love It Once More Thrift Store in Clinton, you can bring us donations during our regular business hours, 10 to 5 Monday through Friday and 10 to 3 on Saturdays. This is Connie. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or at DeWittDailyNews.com to learn about our weekly sales.
Hi, this is Ryan Utterback with Utterback Real Estate. It's greening up out there, and you know what that means.
St. Patty's Day, lad.
No. Green means go time for buying and selling.
The luck of the Irish be with you.
And that's why you're the other Ryan.
Click the Utterback Real Estate icon on DeWittDailyNews.com.
SRN Sports, I'm Ron DeRockstra. Bryson DeChambeau opened with a 65 for his best start in a major, and he leads by one shot over world's number one Scotty Scheffler at the Masters. DeChambeau says he's really come to respect the challenges of the course.
For me, I have a level of respect for this golf course that's a little bit different than a couple years ago. Clearly today was a great test of golf, and I was able to conquer a very difficult golf course today.
The number of players still on the course when play was called because of darkness, thanks to 2.5-hour weather delay. In the NHL, the Penguins beat the Wings 6-5 in overtime. Devils same score over the Maple Leafs in regulation. Flyers snap an 8-game skid, beat the Rangers 4-1. Sabres 4-2 over the Caps. Panthers shut out the Blue Jackets 4-0. Senators 3-2 over the Lightning. Islanders beat the Canadiens. The Jets shut out the Stars. Sharks beat the Kraken. And the Kings beat the Flames. SRN Sports. Baseball, 2 postponements yesterday. Brewers and the Reds, Tigers and the Twins because of weather. Orioles post 6 runs in the 10th inning. They beat Boston 9-4. Mets rout the Braves 14-4. Phillies beat the Pirates 5-1. Royals use a 9-run first inning to clobber the Astros 13-3. Bobby Witt Jr. had 4 hits, including 2 home runs, 5 RBI on the day. J.P. Sears carries a no-hit bid into the seventh inning. A's shut out the Rangers 1-0. In NBA action, 5 games. Jazz snap a 13-game losing streak, 124-121 over the Rockets. Pelicans beat the Kings, 135-123. Warriors win their third straight, 192 over the Trailblazers. Bulls send the Pistons to their franchise record 67th straight loss of the season, 127-105. DeMar DeRozan with 39 points. And it was the Knicks beating the Celtics, 118-109. Jalen Brunson with 39 points. SRN Sports.
Time now for a look at sports. I'm Seth Lawrence with this report. Coy Williams hit a home run and drove in 3, backing a stellar outing from Ike Young as Monticello picked up a statement 6-inning run rule win over Tolono Unity 11-1 in Illini Prairie Conference baseball action in Tolono Thursday. Young struck out 9 in 6 innings. The junior allowed a run on 4 hits and permitted a walk. He went 1 for 3 with a double and scored twice at the plate. Williams paced another solid day for Monticello's offense. He was 3 for 4 with 3 RBIs. Matt Swartz finished 2 for 5 with a pair of RBIs, while Colton Vance, Luke Teschke, Jacob Long, Dylan Brown, and Raiden Colbert drove in runs for the Sages. Trey Hogger doubled in, the only run for the Rockets. Monticello goes to 18-0 overall and 4-0 in the Illini Prairie Conference. They host Williamsville and PBL on Saturday. Maroa-Forsyth outslugged New Berlin 20-10 Thursday in Sangamo Conference baseball from Forsyth. After the teams played to a 6-all tie through the first 2 innings, the Trojans outscored the Pretzels 14-4 the rest of the way, putting the game away with a 7-run 5th inning and a 5-run 6th inning. Andy Munjoy went deep, finishing 3 for 4 with 3 RBIs and 3 runs scored to pace the Trojans. Connor Kelly went 1 for 3 with a triple and 3 RBIs. Caden Maurer was a home run short of the cycle for the Trojans, finishing 3 for 5 on a double and a triple with 2 RBIs and 2 runs scored. Tate Brandenburg, Ian Reed, Miles Leach, Ace Giles, and Zane Giles all hit doubles for Maroa-Forsyth. Ace, Giles, and Reed had 2 RBIs apiece. The Trojans go to 12-0 overall and 2-0 in the Sangamo Conference. They host Pontiac on Saturday. Mount Pulaski scored 6 runs in the 5th inning to separate and beat Midwest Central 10-2 in Tomahawk Conference baseball Thursday in Mount Pulaski. Luke Martin hit a 2-run double in the frame to highlight the big inning. Landon Smith got the Hilltoppers started with a 2-run triple as a part of a 3-run 3rd inning. Martin finished 1 for 3 with 3 RBIs, while Tyler Cross and Smith finished with 2 RBIs apiece. Eric Cooper added a double, finishing 2 for 4 with 2 runs scored. Chance Payne struck out 9 and allowed 2 unearned runs in 6 innings. He permitted 2 hits and issued 5 walks. The Hilltoppers go to 12-0 overall and 1-0 in the Tomahawk. They travel to Lexington for a Saturday morning matchup. A 4-run 3rd inning was all the offense Wyatt Mammon needed as the senior went the distance, helping Lincoln take down Champaign Central 4-2 Thursday in non-conference high school baseball action in Lincoln. Mammon struck out 9 and allowed 2 runs. 1 was earned on 4 hits and walked 1. Michael Lucas, Griffin Shaw, and Drew Haynes drove in runs in the 4-run frame. Colby Glenn and Braden Worth doubled, each finishing 2 for 3 for the Rail Splitters. Lincoln is 6-6 overall. They will host Taylorville and Anawan Weathersfield on Saturday. DeMar DeRozan scored 39 points, and Chicago sent Detroit to their franchise record 67th loss of the season with a 127-105 win Thursday night. Detroit broke the franchise mark set by the 1979-80 team, Chicago wrapped up home court advantage in the Eastern Conference play-in game against Atlanta. Nikola Vucevic had 27 points and 11 rebounds for Chicago, while Kobe White had 18. Jalen Duran had 20 points and 11 rebounds for Detroit. Marcus Sasser scored 20. The Pistons have lost 6 straight and 14 of 15. They played without Cade Cunningham because of knee management. Chicago led by 9 going to the third and slowly pulled away. DeRozan's three-pointer made it 90-70 with 3:27 left in the third. The Bulls led 99-80 at period's end. The Pistons, who allowed 34 points off turnovers, never threatened in the fourth. The Bulls led 64-55 at the half, with DeRozan and Vucevic each scoring 17. The Bulls are at Washington on Friday. William Byron held on to the lead during a 2-lap dash to the finish and led a 1-2-3 finish for Hendrick Motorsports at Martinsville, the first for a team in the track's storied history. Now the series heads to Texas Motor Speedway. The victory was Byron's third in 8 races. Kyle Larson finished second. Chase Elliott was third on the 40th anniversary of the team's first win. Larson took over the points lead by 14 over former leader Martin Truex Jr. Despite his 3 victories, Byron is only 4th in points, 48 behind Larson. There were 13 lead changes among 8 drivers. The victory was the 29th for Hendrick on the half-mile oval, the most for any organization at the track. Byron won at Texas last fall. Practice and qualifying for the Cup Series is 9:30 Saturday morning. Race time is 2:30 Sunday afternoon. Eric Almirola grabbed the lead by going 3 wide on the outside in a 2-lap overtime dash to the finish and won at Martinsville in the Xfinity Series. The series now joins the Cup Series in Texas this weekend. Almirola led 6 times for 148 laps and his 5th career victory in the Xfinity Series. He also won $100,000 as the top finisher among 4 drivers eligible for the Dash for Cash. Chandler Smith finished third and expanded his points lead to 35 over Austin Hill. Smith is the only driver to have finished in the top 10 in all 7 races. Carson Cavapel finished 4th in his series debut. The race featured 15 lead changes, 8 different leaders, and 11 cautions. Practice and qualifying is at 5 this evening. Race time is 12:30 on Sunday. Christian Eckes rallied from 19th and outran pole winner Ty Majeski at Martinsville. The Craftsman Truck Series picks back up this weekend in Texas. Eckes led the first 104 laps, then regained the lead on the 172nd of 200 laps. The victory was the second for Eckes this season. He also won on another short track at Bristol. Majeski, though, assumed the points lead over 7 over Corey Heim and Tyler Ankrum. Practice and qualifying is 3 o'clock this afternoon, and race time is 7:30 tonight. Bryson DeChambeau was plenty good in a relentless win, taking a one-shot lead over world number 1 Scotty Scheffler in a rain-delayed opening round of the Masters at Augusta, Georgia. Scheffler hasn't changed at all. The world's top player was practically flawless from tee to green. The first round could not be completed because of a 2.5-hour rain delay from overnight rain that drenched Augusta National, leaving the greens softer than they've been all week. The test came from a steady 20-mile-per-hour wind with gusts twice that strong. Among those still on the course was Tiger Woods, who was 1 under par through 13 holes when it was too dark to continue. He next faces 23 holes this morning, an endurance test for his battered legs as he tries to set the Masters record by making his 24th consecutive cut. Nikolai Højgaard of Denmark, one of 17 newcomers to the Masters, was 5 under with 3 holes to play. Max Homa was 4 under through 13. DeChambeau put on a clinic of power and putting, always a good recipe at Augusta National. He ran off 5 birdies in a 6-hole stretch on the back 9, including a 2-putt birdie on the par 5 15th when his risky shot under a pine tree cleared the water fronting the green and left him 40 feet away. Scheffler began as the 4-1 favorite according to the FanDuel Sportsbook, the shortest odds since Tiger Woods nearly 2 decades ago. Then the world number one came into the Masters off 2 wins and a runner-up, played as expected. It was his 9th bogey-free round of the year. Defending champ Jon Rahm never got any momentum, and bogeys on his last 2 holes sent him to a 73, leaving him 8 shots off the pace. Rory McIlroy at least did not shoot himself out of the tournament after the first round. In his 10th bid for the final leg of the career Grand Slam, he saved par with a chip from behind the 18th for a 71, the first time he's opened the Masters with a round under par since 2018. The first round was to resume at 6:50 a.m. this morning with a good forecast for the rest of the week. The Masters should be on schedule the rest of the way. Get sports anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Ace now offers free assembly and free delivery, so it's never been easier to get a great grill for your family, like a Weber gas grill, a Traeger wood pellet grill, or a Big Green Egg charcoal grill. Only at your neighborhood Ace. Around the block. What you need in stock, with people who know their grills.
This is Brad from Gibson Ace Hardware in Clinton, Illinois. Stop in to see us, the helpful place at 114 North Madison Street, Clinton.